I definitely felt really weak and I got really skinny. I didn't have a lot of energy. And most people at that point give up and go and say, oh, vegan doesn't work. Being vegan is bad for you. It made me weak. I got so sick. I lost my hair. And then they go back to consuming dead animals. So health can be a good reason, but it really should be for the animals. That should be your number one priority is what's happening to the animals is wrong. And it's a moral imperative that we could discontinue using animal products immediately and we switch to plant foods, okay? The entire society needs to do this. Also, another problem that I see happens to a lot of people is, a lifetime of eating shitty foods. They think that by going vegan, that means that they're supposed to be healthy, but a vegan diet can mean many things. It could be healthy, it could be unhealthy. When somebody starts eating a bunch of salads and raw vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds, and their whole life they've been eating beef stew and burgers and hot dogs and turkey and cheese lasagna and nothing that's really food. People believe it's food because the majority of people in this country eat it, but none of that stuff that I just mentioned is actual food. You're conditioned to believe that it's food, but it's actually not food. And the first response that I get to that is, well, I don't want to eat those vegan mock meats, those vegan fake meats or the fake burgers or anything like that, and putting the word fake in front of it. And then they fail and they go back to eating their shitty diet anyway. How do we not fail when we do this? Just eat the vegan burgers, the vegan pizza. Eat your favorite meals, but the vegan version of that. There's nothing wrong with eating a soy burger. There's nothing wrong with eating a Beyond Burger. There's nothing wrong with that. If you might need that at first to transition to a whole foods plant-based diet. That's what I had to do. That's what I did. And at first, I felt a little bit better and it was fine and it was tasty, of course. That was the biggest thing. Now that I eat whole foods plant-based and mostly raw, if I eat that now, I definitely feel it. Like I feel more tired, I feel more sluggish. So I definitely feel like it's junk food when I eat it now. But when I first transitioned to vegan, it didn't feel that way for me. It helped me. So that's what I'm trying to get across to you and trying to show you is that you need to utilize these foods because we have grown up. Think about it. You spent 10, 20, 30, 40 years, your whole life, eating a certain way. So the bacteria in your digestive tract that has grown is bacteria that breaks down and consumes and eats junk food and turns that into energy. It's a shitty form of energy, but that's what most people in this society, I'm talking about the US, have, and including myself. So when somebody just automatically goes from that type of diet, I'm talking about the standard American diet, which is what most of you eat, most of people eat, is not real food, but it's what we eat. Cooked food, heavy meat, heavy dairy, very little vegetable. If it's vegetable, it's always cooked, which kills off half the nutrition when you cook it. Very little fruit, maybe probably more fruit than vegetable because there's sugar in it. I mean, it's just terrible diets. You all know it's a terrible diet. So what happens when people genuinely want to go vegan is they transition and they start eating salad. I mean, I literally have run into so many people like that used to be vegan and that used to just eat. They went from eating all of that heavy, dense food, like turkey saturated in gravy and like dead pig and I just want to give you a reply to the whole oh, I don't want to eat that fake meat. Well, okay, you're putting dead animals into your body. You've ever seen a dead animal on the side of the road? And you ever smelt that smell? Like when you're riding your bike by or you're driving a car, you can even smell it inside your car, even on a highway when you're driving by. That's rotting, decaying flesh that you're putting in your body. Yet you want to say that fake meat is bad to put in your body, which is just vegetable protein that's been processed to look and taste like meat. it's just vegetables. So I say eat it, use it. You know, you're putting dead animal flesh and dairy, milk, cheese. Do you know what that actually is? That's animal pus and mucus, secretions from animals. It's pus and mucus. That's what it's filled with. And you're putting that stuff in your body. So it has an effect. Eating wheat protein chicken nuggets, there's just no comparison. I mean, it's 10 times better. It's not just a little bit better, it's 10 times better. So stop being afraid of the word processed and fake, because those are just words that have been used to derail you back to the meat products. The meat industry uses these terms to push you back to those, to purchasing their dead animals, okay? So, and the dairy industry as well too, which is worse than the meat industry. So when people first go vegan, they switch to eating salads, and they try to eat lentils and beans, and they try to eat a bunch of nuts, and you're gonna fail if you do that. More than likely, you're gonna fail if you do that. I stuck through it, and I did that at first too. I stuck through it. It was difficult, and I stuck through it, but I definitely felt really weak, and I got really skinny, and I didn't have a lot of energy. And most people at that point give up and go and say, oh, this vegan doesn't work. Being vegan is bad for you. It made me weak. I got so sick. I lost my hair. And then they go back to consuming dead animals. So that's not the solution. The solution is what actually is happening is your gut bacteria is dying, okay? The gut bacteria that you've created that processes and consumes dead animal waste is dying off when you switch vegan and you start eating vegetables. You have to grow and produce, your body has to grow and produce new bacteria in your digestive tract that will consume raw cellulose, raw foliage, raw fiber, okay? Which is the healthiest food to consume. This is actual food that we're supposed to be consuming. The human body you can eat anything. You could eat plastic and your body would break it down. What I'm saying is the ideal food for a human being, the species-specific food, is fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Sprouts, things like that. It's gonna take time. That's why I suggest using vegan junk foods or eating your favorite meals that you would eat. You know, burgers are probably a big one. That was for me. I love a burger, you know, not a cow burger, but I love a burger, you know, something that just has that taste, that I don't know, heavy grilled taste. And I love putting tomato, lettuce, ketchup, onion, and mayonnaise. And all of that can be made vegan as well too. So if I'm craving a burger, that's what I do. It's pretty simple to understand. I don't know why people are trying to overcomplicate it. So I'm just trying to help here. Is you need to eat, and by the way, a lot of those vegan meat products contain actual protein. Beans and nuts are not a good source of protein, especially when you're first starting out. Later on down the road, you know, maybe a couple years down the road after you've been vegan for a while and you start eating more whole foods, your body becomes more efficient at processing real food and you absorb more nutrients and you don't have to necessarily eat so much. That's later on. But at first, I'm talking about when you first go vegan. Okay, at first, you got to give your gut time to adjust. Don't throw the towel in and say the vegan diet ruined you and that it doesn't work. First of all, you should have a reason and a purpose greater than just how you feel anyway. It should be, health can be a good reason, but it really should be for the animals. That should be your number one priority, is what's happening to the animals is wrong, and it's a moral imperative that we could discontinue using animal products immediately and we switch to plant foods, okay? The entire society needs to do this. So that's the number one reason. So when you have that reason, and actually you'll stay vegan longer for life. Obviously, I don't believe in just eating. I'm a healthy person. I'm a health fanatic, health vegan, and I try to help people get healthy. Because if you eat just vegan junk food, that's another thing that people do. is and they even say, well, I stopped eating meat and I started eating salads, but I also started throwing in vegan meats and stuff too, and I still got weak and sick because they stopped eating the salads. They stopped eating the real food. They stopped eating the whole foods. They started only eating the junk food and only eating the vegan ice creams, the vegan cookies and pizza and French fries. There's a lot of things that you guys eat and that we all eat on a normal basis that are vegan anyway, that we just don't consider to be vegan. Like, you know, French fries are an example that I'm thinking of right now. Wine is vegan, you know, things like this. These things are not healthy for you, but they are vegan. When people switch and they start eating only junk food, you need to incorporate more nutrition into your diet. You know, don't eat only vegan junk food. And when I was doing that, I got sick all the time. You know, I was sick. I would get colds all the time, and I was tired. That's the more important thing, is I was just drained. Even on the vegan food, I was just drained, and I felt sluggish when I was working out. Now, when I eat raw living food, my workouts are awesome. I feel alive. I feel hydrated. That's what it is. It's dehydration. The dehydration makes you sluggish and tired and slow. So hydrating your body is where it's at. Think of your favorite meals and your favorite dishes that you eat and the foods that you eat on a normal basis. If you're somebody who likes lasagna, you know, my Italian family, you can make vegan lasagna. You can make raw lasagna. Lasagna could be made a vegan version, and it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. You can use cashews and make cashews and nutritional yeast in a blender, makes a delicious, with some salt. Oh my God, it tastes just like cheese. It's so good. And all the vegan products on the market that are cheeses have come a long way, and they're really good. So just try new stuff. Go to the store and try new products, try new things, be open to it. But yeah, please don't just jump in and start eating handfuls of raw nuts like almonds and then beans and just raw vegetables, because if you do that, you're gonna get really weak because you're probably not gonna eat enough of it, and that's the problem. That stuff would work if you eat enough of it, but enough of it is a lot of volume. So if you're not eating a ton of volume, you're gonna get weak because you're under eating your calories. And that's another thing that people do that go vegan, is they under eat calories. And plant foods are less calorically dense and they weigh less. They have less fat, saturated fat, and they weigh less than animal products do. So they're more light. They're lighter on the system, so you need to eat more of them usually. I hope this helps. This is some tips for you on your journey of first going vegan. These are things that I did, mistakes to avoid, and just the largest issues I see with people going vegan and going back to animal-based. So hopefully this helps you to stay on track and stay on your vegan journey, your vegan path. Share any of your struggles of your journey in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. It makes it really interesting when we can hear from other people. And please like this video if you found it valuable. See you later.